Hey guys, I wanted to come back to another episode of the Patriarchal Bastard. It's where my friend Curtis and I can say whatever it is we want to say, and the reason why is because we are part of the patriarchy. We are we are nasty, nasty white men, and we're gonna get away with saying whatever we want to say because we're nasty white men. Anyways,
Oh,
um, I was just thinking,
and
we're
it's
so
so much
bad.
fun. Isn't it fun being bad?
It's fun being bad. It's fun being nasty white men.
Yes, it
It's
is.
like I got an excuse. I could be an asshole based
Well,
on
I
a nasty
know.
white man.
Since we're already put in the asshole category, we ought to enjoy it. Give them something to
I want
talk
to
about.
enjoy it.
Give
Just
them
you
something to
know,
talk about.
yeah, yep. That old was it Bonnie Raitt? The
Bonnie
song. Give him
Raitt,
something.
yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, I wanted to talk today a lot about fear and truth and the way that we're kind of made to be quiet. Where if we start saying something that is against the current narrative, we're told to be quiet. Or
Mhm.
in a roundabout way. Normally, we're made to feel bad for our position. And what I mean by that is we're often told you're racist or you're
Mhm.
sexist or you're transphobic or whatever because you have the view that you have. And it's like, no, that's not really true. And it's like a quick shutdown. We're trying to quickly shut you down. Kind of like there was an episode of the Jon Stewart podcast back a few months back, and
Mhm.
he had it was him and two white guys and a white woman, and of course Jon Stewart's very liberal, and
Mhm.
he was stating that about critical race theory and black people are oppressed and all this stuff. And the one guest who was a white man, he was a gay white man, but he was a white man nonetheless. And he made an observation that he didn't think that white men, it's more of a distraction to say that white men are the absolute cause of whatever.
Mhm.
And as soon as he uttered the words against the narrative, he was called racist, actually
Mhm.
basically by Jon Stewart in a roundabout way, and
Mhm.
almost directly about the woman that was on the panel. She said, she goes, I don't want to listen to racist dog whistles like this guy. And that automatically shuts discussions down because we don't want to be seen as racist or
Well,
transphobic
see,
or whatever.
all of this name calling is based on the fact that most of what the left is now proposing doesn't have any logical basis behind it. So there can't be a reasonable discussion. So you're just shut down by name calling. And once you've been labeled racist or that, no one is supposed to listen to you.
Yep.
This is just making problems in our country worse because there's no way to meaningfully communicate with someone who just labels you, just calls you names, and doesn't allow you to have a meaningful conversation.
Right.
And that's what
Yep.
goes on now, and that's what passes for debate. It's just name calling
Yep.
and canceling people and shutting them down. It's very authoritarian. It's very uh, cruel, and the left have become masters at this. That's one reason I'm no I can't support the left. I've always been a liberal, but people that are on the left now, I've said bye bye. I can't have anything to do with this.
right. And you brought up a really good point. Um, it's like you said something about as soon as they called a certain thing and labeled a certain, racist or transphobic or whatever, it's like they're put into a box
Hmm.
and we're told that we can't discuss things with them because they are this way.
Well, they're
And it's like,
superior.
yep, yep. It's like Alex Jones. I don't know much about Alex Jones at all, but it's like he would. I think in a lot of ways he was put into a particular box. You
Hmm.
are this, and if you are this, then you're no longer credible. And I think that was the point you made a minute ago, and I thought that was a
Oh,
really good
yeah.
astute point.
Another epithet used to shut down conversation is you're a conspiracy theorist.
Yes,
A lot
yes,
of the conspiracies that people blame now are known to be true.
yep,
Discussing a conspiracy doesn't mean that there aren't doesn't mean that it can't be true. There are a lot of conspiracies that have turned out to be true.
right.
So, calling somebody a conspiracy theorist is another way just to shut down conversation. We're not going to allow you to talk because you're a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
Hello, a lot of the conspiracies that you said were not true are now proved to be true. So, no, that's just another way of shutting down conversation, and they've used that against Alex Jones. I've taken time to listen to his shows off and on, and he does love to exaggerate. But I hate to say this, I find more truth on his show than I do on CNN or MSNBC or Fox.
Yep, yep. It's like that one host or hostess or whatever, Joy Behar, is that her name?
Oh yes, Joy Behar. Yeah,
Yeah, she is something else. I mean,
yeah.
it's like and if we just because that's a mainstream news channel, if we expect to get any truth from that, it's like it's like again, I'd rather talk to some you know crazy nut job waving a flag or whatever than her because it's like that is what she is, just
Hmm.
left.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget, she was upset about gun control, and she said, wait till blacks get guns. And I thought, well, honey, blacks already have guns.
Yep, yep,
She was
yep. They're
acting
called
like that.
criminals.
She was acting like the NRA you know, be le- would be less popular once blacks got guns. Well, heavens, look at all the shootings in the streets by blacks. Blacks have
Right.
guns. Where are you, lady?
I'd love to have law-abiding black people have guns. Maybe
Yes. And
maybe
I
they
don't
would.
and no one that I know of is talking about not allowing blacks to have guns.
You're right. Yep, yep. I mean, it's like, man, yeah, black people have guns constantly. I mean,
Yeah,
as a matter of fact, and I hate to say this, but that's one of the problems. Not black people, but criminals that
have
that
guns.
poor project type and people. They have these guns that are committing these crimes,
Yeah,
and it's like uh, But as far as like a legal black gun owner owning a gun, I'm totally fine with that because the criminal element black people already have them.
that's right. And a lot of law-abiding black people have guns. But
Yep.
she was acting like that would turn gun owner, these people that are pro-gun against. Uh, they would become guns, and gun uh, wanting to control guns if
Right.
black people. Well, they already know that black people have guns, and they're for black people having guns. The people that are for the Second Amendment. I don't
Yep.
know. See, it was just a way to racialize an argument.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it shows
Yep.
how stupid it was. It was just stupid.
again, everything has to be about race with that side.
Hmm.
And that's one thing that really drives me nuts. It's like, not everything is about race.
Yeah,
Not everything is racial.
it
It's
was.
it's like the one video I saw early in the week where a woman was putting down Drew Barrymore for dancing. Have you seen that? A
I don't
woman,
think I have.
a black woman was putting down Drew Barrymore because Drew Barrymore had the audacity to frolic on TikTok because it was raining outside. And she went outside and frolicked in the rain. And frolicking, according to her, on TikTok is a black thing. And she was appropriating blackness by doing
Well,
so.
how many blacks have appropriated my culture?
Yep. I
I
mean,
mean,
you
I
know,
see all kinds of blacks trying to make their hair like white people, and going to churches that white people started. I mean, well, that's why. But I don't care if they want to appropriate Western, European culture.
right.
They
I
can go
mean,
ahead and
people
do
can
it.
do what they want.
They don't own. It's they don't own culture.
Yep. Yep. It's like,
And a lot of the black culture I don't want to have anything to do with anyway.
right.
And a lot of white culture I don't want to have anything to do with.
Yep. Yep. So
But
should
this
be,
idea of frolicking is a black is a
yep.
oh how did
Frolicking
she
on
come up with
TikTok.
that?
Yeah, I guess it was following the story. I guess black people, a black person, first started the whole idea of like dancing around outside on TikTok. And because it was raining and Drew Barrymore danced around, she's
Have
frolicking.
but whites came up with dancing in the rain long
Yeah,
before TikTok.
yep, yep. But you know,
How far does this person's history go back?
it's like the whole narrative is everything is racist. Everything is
Hmm.
about race, and it's like, good God, I'm sure when Drew Barrymore made that video, she was thinking about race and was thinking about, you know what, who can I freaking offend?
I'm
Who
going
can
to
I offend?
appropriate all of the black culture in just a few steps in the rain.
Yep,
How dumb.
yep, and I mean, of course Drew Barrymore was thinking that. I mean, of course she was. It's like, you know, again,
It,
this whole idea of not being able to state or not being able to act the way you want to act or being able to post a video of you having fun in the rain
hmm.
because again it's about fear and silence. You're not allowed to do that because it's about race. It's really
I
all about
I
race.
actually think these leftists stay awake at night worried that someone somewhere might be having a good time.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
funny. It's funny. I used to think years ago the same about the right.
I did too, but now
They're
it's the
they're sitting
left.
there they're sitting there thinking that somebody somewhere is having a good time, having sex or something,
And
and
now it's the left.
yeah, it's the left. It's like if they're out there appropriating, if I wear a sombrero, I'm appropriating Mexican culture, and I should be shot. According to
Well, of course.
their
Of
their whole
course.
bullshit. It's like,
And I'm going to vote for laws to kill you for
yep,
doing that.
yep,
Some
yep.
no sombreros for you,
No sombreros for the patriarchal
only
bastard.
for me.
Only no sombreros for you. You're not woke enough to wear a sombrero.
Oh, I know. And I'm not Mexican enough. As a matter
Yeah,
of fact, I don't. I'm not Mexican at all.
no. Yeah,
I don't.
again, the whole thing is everything has to do with them, with race, and if they I almost think like you said they sit there at night and they're sitting there going through YouTube
With a
and they're
big
look
chip on their
yep
shoulder.
with a big chip on their shoulders looking for anything they could possibly, it's again the whole idea that white people or any of us really are out there looking for to offend people. I mean,
Uh-huh.
we're living our lives. I've got kids and a wife and responsibilities, and
Well,
you've got
I
your
heard
own.
that you all feel that you all have table discussions every day on how you can offend people, the next person. That you all are an offensive committee members, and that's your main point in life is to go out and spread white supremacy and male patriarchy and
We, we,
domination.
we do that, but only on Saturday nights.
Oh,
There- Yeah,
so you use Sunday
yep.
to go around and just crap on people. And
Do my
you know,
thing.
I remember when I was growing up in the 50s and 60s, there was a communist under every bed.
Yep.
Now
Oh,
there's a
yeah.
racist at everywhere you look. I stay in my house and I have put furniture in front of the doors because
Yep.
I'm afraid of racists running in.
Yep. Yep. Well, I would be too, Coach. And
They're
you know,
everywhere.
I get afraid at times. Just like I walk in the bathroom and I see myself in the mirror. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a white man.
Oh
See,
God! And you know
you know,
what? I bet those white men are peeking around the corner,
they
and
are.
they're gonna chop off everything that you have.
Yep. Yep. It's like we, but again, we got this whole idea where we need to be afraid. We need to be afraid. We can't be honest. We can't speak the truth.
Hmm.
We gotta if it goes again. The thing is, I was thinking about earlier. If we question something, like you and I questioned this lady's motives for making the video she made for, calling Drew Barrymore a racist, and
Hmm.
it's like we have to just accept this racist. We have to just
Well,
accept that. And if we don't accept it,
she
that's
needs.
if we don't accept it, that's racist too.
Yeah,
So
I
it's race.
know, but I hate to. Well, I'm going to just put it out there. She needs. She has the. Is. She needs mental health care.
Yes, I totally agree.
Okay, she really does, and she needs to probably be committed.
Yep, I totally agree. She's narcissistic. She's spending all of
Hmm.
her time like that's where.
Everybody's stealing my culture.
Yep, yep. It's like I forgot the lady's name, Lizzo or whatever her freaking name is,
Hmm.
the one singer um, who said this past week that um, she wants people to vote against the laws that oppress her. It's like why she's sitting there singing the whatever song she wants to sing with lyrics about chopping men's privates off and
Hmm.
Lorena Bobbitt and everything else. And it's like, but she her millions of dollars say she makes from these songs, but
Hmm.
yet
But she's
she is
oppressed.
somehow oppressed. And we got to vote against the laws
Well,
to
I
get
would like
people.
for her to name those laws
Yep, I would like her to name those laws too, and I would like her
because I would
to.
vote against them.
Yep, yep. I would like her to name these laws and name how patriarchal bastards like you and I are sitting in such, pristine wealth.
Such and such power.
Yeah, yeah,
I
like,
didn't realize how much power I had.
yeah,
Wow.
how much power I have, when I'm watching my bottom line every month and
Hmm.
she's got millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, all
I mean,
and she's the
maybe,
victim,
yep, and maybe there was
and you're
money.
victimizing her
That's right. Not, and
just because you're a white man.
I gotta, feel ashamed. I gotta
And I'm
feel
sure,
ashamed.
yeah, that'll really help everybody, won't it?
Yep, it will. It
Your
will
shame will
really help
really help
people.
her. Yeah,
It'll help
that'll.
her realize that she doesn't have any power. Power, all the hatred, all the power comes from me.
Right out of
And
your
and
kitchen.
and so she needs to understand that. Everyone needs to understand that.
Hmm.
That they don't have power. That the
You
only
do.
power lies for other people in
Hmm.
other groups.
So they don't have to be responsible for anything, and they can
One
make
thing.
everybody afraid. You were talking about fear. I feel like that our government, especially since COVID, has been running on fear. Actually, it got really bad after the 9/11,
Yes.
and they've used fear to slowly take away our rights, and they just keep coming up with one scenario after another to make us afraid and to take away our rights, and we are allowing them to do it because we want to feel safe instead of free.
Yep.
And if we're
Yeah.
not able to take responsibility for our own lives, I guess we don't deserve to be free.
Yep.
And then, of course, the climate hoaxers, who are talking like it's the end of the world. And here again, it's fear, and if you take their uh, movement to its logical conclusion, the humans should just check out,
Yep.
get off the earth.
Yep.
And my
Yep.
attitude is they should be the ones that start getting off the earth to
Oh,
save
right.
us.
Yep. I remember you saying that. Hey, look, if I remember you telling me one time, if they want to start depopulating, start with yourselves.
Yeah, that do us all a favor.
Yep. Jump off the cliff.
Check out.
Yep.
I don't want to hear your whining anymore.
Yep. What was it? Theodore Roosevelt, I think, said, if you're complaining and not offering solutions, that's called whining.
Hmm.
And it's like, yeah, it's
And the
called whining.
solutions that these climate activists come up with are not practical. It's basically
Yep.
it's creating a world that humans are not able to live in.
And the thing is, they're not giving really a timeline. You know,
No.
they're not giving a timeline like these things are going to happen by this time. And the
Hmm.
timelines they what they end up saying is like, well, they have given timelines in a way, but those timelines they come and they pass, and what they do is they end up saying sometime in the future there's going
Hmm.
to be all these problems. And it's like, well, yeah, there may be, but you have to give a timeline with something. If not, shut the hell up. It's
And
like,
you have to make sure the other structures are there,
yep,
ready when you go off one system to another. It reminds me of, out in California when the governor, Gavin Newsom, he announced that within 10 years they're going to stop allowing any gas, motor vehicle cars to be made. They'll all have to be electric.
yep,
But then the same weekend, they announced that they were going to have rolling blackouts
yep. I heard
where
that, and
people
they
would
asked
have
people
to,
not to.
yeah. So, what would you do if you were depending on electricity? How could you get anywhere
Yeah, it's funny.
if you had an electric car?
Yeah, I heard that was it today or last night or something that they're asking people now not to charge their cars.
Yeah, because
And
they're not really serious about everybody being able to drive around in an electric car. They want to limit our ability to actually move from one place to another. That's what it's about. It's taking
like,
away more freedom.
I agree. I agree. I totally agree. And it's all about again this whole climate thing. So I'm not saying that man hasn't done things to the environment. Not at all. I'm not saying that at all. But this whole idea that they're out there yelling, you know, I, we're all going to be underwater by 2050, and we're all going to. Why don't we stop this? Because
Hmm.
all we're doing is we're scaring the shit out of people, and creating chaos and creating,
Hmm.
and the times come and go. Like what did they say about 2000? We'd be out of food.
Hmm.
That was 22 years ago.
Hmm.
But they were saying back when I was a kid, that 2000 was going to be like a food baron.
Yeah.
We'd be in a food desert, and and the fact of the matter is, we are more abundant now than
Than
we
we've
ever
ever
have been
been. Than we have
in
ever
mankind.
been.
Yep.
Hmm.
And it's like if you, most people have a roof over their head, they have heat, they have air, they have running water, they have toilets, and it's like if you have just that, do people understand just how privileged they are compared to any other time in man's history?
Yeah, kings and queens didn't have the luxuries
No,
we have.
nope. But for some reason, things are so bad now,
Yeah.
and well, it's part of the patriarchy, but things are so bad now, and things are so bad now, and it's like, and that's a point that has to be rehashed and rehashed and rehashed, and that we got to parrot this because
Hmm.
they're setting. I feel, I don't know how you feel, but I feel they're setting a particular stage. The stage is look. We're in hell. Look at all these bad things that are coming up. Be afraid, be afraid, be afraid, be
Hmm.
afraid. Boo, 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 boo. It's like, again, we're being told this is the way that it is. And we have
Hmm.
to accept this. We have to be very afraid. And it's like, of course it affects us. Of course we're every time we turn the news on, we got to hear some kind of, horror story about how we're destroying the earth and we're destroying ourselves, and we're gonna die by another 5 years, and the earth is gonna be in bad places, and we're told that you know fear white people because they're racist, and even though they don't commit the crimes at the same rate, anywhere near
Hmm.
the same rate, in violent crimes as black people. But again, that black white people hurting black people happens according to the news on a daily basis.
Oh, I know. You would think that white people are just running around
Yeah.
attacking black people everywhere, and that's not true.
And one thing that you were bringing up earlier was, and again, we have to accept that, and of course, I won't go too much into this because they'll cut portions of my video out, but
Mhm.
they're we have to buy into this notion that all of us have to get this vaccine. That
Yeah,
if we don't get this vaccine, we are somehow not doing the right thing for ourselves and for other people.
and
Even
here
though,
again, it's based on fear,
yep,
not rational, informed consent.
yep, yep, yep. And again, if in going into the whole transgender thing, if we raise any kind of objections to kids having operations or hormone blockers or anything else, we're told that we're transphobic. It's an effort to real quick shut down the conversation so they can label people like as transphobic and not accepting. It's like I heard somebody say the other day, people that say those types of things,
Hmm.
people that say that kind of stuff, they don't want us to exist. No, that's not at all. That's not it at all. Nobody's saying you don't have the right to exist. No
Hmm.
one's saying that. We're just raising an objection to doing operations on minors. That's it. That's all we're doing. And it's like, it has nothing to do with being transphobic. But again, people, they want a real quick shut down the
They
conversation.
they don't want to discuss it because they know that if you went into detail and started discussing the actual treatments, a lot of people would see that these treatments could be detrimental.
Right. Yep. They
So
would see what you're
let's not
saying.
discuss it because I'm right, and no matter what you say, is going to convince me otherwise. Therefore, I'm going to label you as something that is negative, and so you're supposed to shut up so I can have everything my way. And that's not how democracies work.
I remember you saying something because of your linguistic background. You were saying something to me the other day regarding that. Like you can say something, categorize somebody as something. What were you saying? Something.
I was saying that a lot of the philosophical underpinnings of the present leftist movement is the way they use language. And if you study Foucault, he combined the idea of language as power, and that the way to regain power is to take it back and to change the discourse, the discursive methods.
Right.
And so, but in so doing, you make it so that you don't have to you don't have to argue a point. You maintain your power through controlling the language.
Right. Yep.
And that's what's happened. In other words, the left has been good about controlling language, which means that they shut down discussion by using different techniques like name calling and and making categories that seem unrealistic, like we can redefine anything. We can redefine what a vaccine is. We can redefine what a woman is, so that you never know really what you're discussing.
Yep. Yep.
Or they can win the argument by changing the definitions because they're going to say we own the language. We have now claimed the right to our narrative and our discourse over yours.
Yep. Yep.
So it's
And they,
they're gaining power by the way they use language.
yep. And to me, that's scary. I mean, that's and when you were saying that the other day, um, yeah, I totally get that, and I totally see that, and that is a scary situation. If somebody's able to again, if we're able to demonize certain
People,
people,
yeah, people are going to have to get over being upset when they're called a racist or a transphobe or whatever. They're just going
yeah,
to have to because that gives them too much power.
yep.
And
And that's right,
my attitude is even if someone is a racist, they have a right to express their ideas.
right, yep.
At least I
They're
thought so in a free country.
yep. They feel the way they feel because of something. And it's like, and it might be bullshit. It might be 100% bullshit, but they feel the way they feel.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, I disagree with it, but you have a right to your feelings. And
Well,
it's
I'd
like,
just as soon hear their bullshit as this left bullshit.
yeah, yep, yep. Yep. I mean, it's 100%. I mean, I think a lot of times the reason why they don't want to talk about things, they don't want to discuss things, and they want to real quick shut you down as transphobic or
Hmm.
racist or whatever, it's because they know their arguments will not stand up.
Well, that's exactly.
Yep.
It's not based on on reality. A lot of it.
Yep.
You
Yep.
can
It's
look.
not.
You can look at a lot of the arguments going on now to where people are even afraid to say what a woman is.
I
It's
mean,
not reality based.
yes, a circular. What is a woman? A woman is what. So what is a woman? A woman is what is somebody who identifies as a woman.
It's what
What is
someone
that?
feels.
Yep. So what is that? A woman. Well, somebody who identifies as a woman. Well, what is it? A woman. Somebody who
Yeah, how would
identifies.
you identify
So,
as a woman
yep.
if you don't know what a woman is?
And it goes around and around and around and around until, somebody just finally gives up and says, I give up. What the hell?
Hmm.
But
Well,
yeah,
how can you? There's it's a moving target. It's based on tautologies and moving targets.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like again, we and again, I could identify as a horse today, and
Hmm.
as a camel tomorrow, and and people better accept what I am, and if they don't, I'm going to throw myself on the ground, whine
Hmm.
and complain, and say that I'm oppressed, and then go into my house with air
Yep.
conditioning and take a shit on my toilet, and
Yep.
and whatever,
You should
and
have a right
complain.
to shit in the streets if you're a horse.
That's right. That's right. I should be able to walk out there butt naked and take
And shit
craps.
in the streets
Right. And
because
take.
you're a horse.
I'm a horse. Damn it. It's like
Hello, Mr. Ed.
You son of a.